Tonight, a plea deal derailed.
The justice system is fair to all Americans, and not one system for the Biden Inc. family and another for America.
President's son, Hunter Biden, pleads not guilty after an agreement with prosecutors falls apart at the last minute. The reaction from both the White House and Capitol Hill Republicans who are now discussing a potential impeachment inquiry behind closed doors. Plus,
no significant French building had ever been restored this way before, using hand hewing with axes, and we're really creating a replica.
it's been 4 years since Notre Dame was engulfed in flames. In tonight's Prime Focus, we're in Normandy, France, with a group of Americans going back in time to rebuild the iconic cathedral for future generations. And
are there people that you watched growing up that you looked up to?
Yeah, like the whole team.
Everyone on the right.
Like anyone like over the age of like 25, I feel like we grew up watching them.
Yeah.
They are sure to be household names soon enough. We're with some of the fresh faces of Team USA and go to New Zealand as some of America's best play in one of the biggest matches of the World Cup. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us. We're following those stories and much more, including the scary moments in New York as a crane on top of a high-rise is engulfed in flames and partially collapses to the ground, plus suddenly gone. We remember the life and legacy left behind by iconic singer Sinead O'Connor. And Alan finally gets his day. Barbie and Ken may be all the rage, but it's Ken's BFF Alan that's in high demand after the film's release. Just how much in demand? We take a look by the numbers. Our correspondents are fanned out across the country covering those stories and more for us tonight, but we do begin with the dramatic scene inside a Delaware federal courthouse today as a plea deal between prosecutors and the president's son quickly fell apart. For nearly 3 hours, the judge scrutinized the details of an agreement to allow Hunter Biden to plead guilty to misdemeanor tax charges and avoid prosecution on a felony gun charge, calling the deal atypical. House Republicans are applauding the judge's decision as they pursue their own investigation into Hunter Biden's business and whether his father was ever involved. Meanwhile, the president continues to stay largely silent on the matter. Today, the White House repeated that the case is being handled independently by the Justice Department and a Trump-appointed prosecutor. But is that enough to calm the political cries of nepotism and corruption? ABC senior national correspondent Terry Moran is at the courthouse where it all went down.
Hunter Biden came to the federal courthouse in Wilmington this morning expecting to put his legal troubles behind him. But it was a day of unexpected courtroom drama and an unforeseen twist. For 5 years, David Weiss, the U.S. attorney in Delaware, appointed by Donald Trump, had been investigating the president's son until finally last month, the prosecutors and Hunter Biden cut a deal. Biden agreed to plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax charges for failing to file taxes in 2017 and 2018. And prosecutors agreed not to prosecute Biden for lying about his drug use when he purchased a gun in 2018, as long as Biden remained drug-free for 2 years. But today, inside the courtroom of federal Judge Mary Ellen Noriega, it was immediately clear that this deal was in trouble. Judge Noriega, appointed by President Trump, peppered lawyers on both sides with questions and repeatedly took issue with the negotiated plea deal, calling it not straightforward, atypical, saying she would not rubber stamp it, and asking, is this even constitutional? At one point, the judge asked prosecutors if the proposed deal would give Hunter Biden immunity from prosecution for any other possible crimes he may have committed, including in his business dealings in other countries such as Ukraine and China. When a prosecutor answered no, Biden's lawyer Chris Clark shot back that in that case the deal was null and void. That set off a flurry of tense negotiations, some during brief recesses, some right out in open court. At one point, Biden's lawyer walking across the courtroom, arms outstretched and threatening to rip it up. Really bad for everyone. No good, he was heard saying moments later. Hunter Biden clearly agitated. Ultimately, Judge Noriega asking prosecutors if there was still an ongoing investigation into Hunter Biden. The prosecutor responded, there is. At the end of the 3-hour hearing, Judge Noriega ordering both sides to talk again and return in about 30 days, adding, I'm not going to say I'm going to accept the agreement. I'm not going to say I'll deny it. Hunter Biden then pleaded not guilty to the tax charges while negotiations continue, and he left the courthouse with so much still unresolved.
All still unsettled. Terry Moran joins us now from Wilmington. And Terry, the judge essentially told both sides to go back to work on this. So how's the White House responding tonight?
Well, this can't have come as good news for President Biden or the White House, Lindsay, because this is a huge political issue, and what today did was pour gasoline on the Hunter Biden problem for the president. That said, Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said some very familiar words. She tried to downplay the relevance of what happened here. She called it the news in Delaware today. And as they have before, she emphasized that, quote, Hunter Biden is a private citizen and this is a personal matter. She once again underlined that as far as the White House is concerned, this matter was handled by the Justice Department without interference from anyone at the White House and under the leadership, as she put it, of Trump-appointed U.S. Attorney David Weiss. Lindsay?
The news in Delaware that some want to say have national implications there. Terry Moran for us. Our thanks to you. A terrifying scene during rush hour here in New York City today. A giant construction crane caught fire 45 stories up. Its arm snapped off, causing it to come crashing down to the ground, injuring several people. And ABC has learned that the owner of the crane was also reportedly involved in another crash that killed 7 people. Ariel Reshef is on the scene for us.
It was a terrifying morning in Midtown Manhattan. A giant crane on fire, collapsing, slamming into a nearby skyscraper, plunging at least 45 stories to the street below, sending people running for their lives.
The crane fell.
This video showing panicked construction workers inside the building.
Should we get out? I don't know. Is it going to keep falling off? Let's go.
As I'm in the building, I could have swore it was my last day.
That crane was lifting 16 tons of concrete. You can hear the roar of debris raining down.
Just the building shaking alone was enough for everybody just to run away.
Firefighters rushing to the scene, spraying water on the flames from an adjacent rooftop.
Injured member struck by debris from the crane.
Miraculously, no one was killed, but 11 suffering non-life-threatening injuries.
This is the aftermath. You can see that crane came to rest on top of scaffolding, twisted and mangled metal littering the roadway in the heart of Manhattan.
Officials say the fire started in the engine compartment of that crane around 7:30 a.m. The operator trying to put it out with a fire extinguisher before escaping. Amanda Drews and Alex Zay were in their apartment when that crane smashed into their window.
I heard a big explosion and then something falling, and then all 3 of my window panes flew in my face.
And tonight, ABC News learning the company that owned the crane from today's incident was also involved in 2 deadly crane collapses back in 2008. The company has not responded to a request for comment.
Some potential questions about this company. Ariel Reshef is on the scene for us in Manhattan. Ariel, those images today were just so frightening to see. Tell us what you're learning about what could potentially have caused the collapse.
Well, Lindsay, still a very active scene here. Crews behind me are still cleaning up, and you can see that crane still rests on the scaffolding. Truly a miracle. No one was killed, but a preliminary investigation finding that fire on the crane was caused by a hydraulic fluid leak. We also know investigators were here on scene and have deemed both the buildings around here and the rest of that crane structurally sound. Lindsay.
Ariel Reshef, our thanks to you. Today, the world lost a music icon after multi-platinum recording artist, Irish singer-songwriter Sinead O'Connor was pronounced dead at the age of 56. O'Connor rose to fame in her 20s with her evocative voice and provocative behavior making headlines. And throughout her career, she was open about her struggle with mental illness. Eva Pilgrim has more on her life and the legacy she leaves behind.
She was as gifted as she was provocative, with iconic hits like Nothing Compares to You. And tonight, the family of Sinead O'Connor, the famed Irish singer-songwriter, announcing her death in a statement, writing, "Her family and friends are devastated." Born in Dublin, she became a breakout star in the 80s and 90s. With her trademark shaved head and angst-filled voice, she catapulted to worldwide fame in her 20s with her cover of Prince's Nothing Compares to You. In 1991, that song helped her win a Grammy, which she famously refused to accept. For decades, O'Connor, known as much for her music as for her controversy, in 1992 sparking fierce outrage after ripping up a photo of Pope John Paul II on national television to protest child sexual abuse in the Catholic Church.
Fight the real enemy.
Decades later, O'Connor converted to Islam. Her songs often a reflection of a tormented personal life, for years in and out of rehab for depression, addiction, and trauma. And last year, hospitalized after the death of her 17-year-old son, Shane. Sinead O'Connor, who defied institutions and convention from her image to her music, was 56.
Sinead O'Connor is survived by her 3 children. In 2013, she was asked how she would like to be remembered. She said, as a great mother and grandmother. Lindsay.
Eva, thank you. Now to a concerning moment making headlines from Capitol Hill today after Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell appeared to freeze while speaking at a press conference. His colleagues led him away before returning to the microphone a few minutes later. But the moment has left onlookers wondering what happened and questioning McConnell's health condition. Here's ABC's senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott.
Well, good afternoon, everyone.
It began just like any other press conference, but within seconds, it took a troubling turn. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell unable to finish his sentence.
We're on a path to finishing the NDA this week. There's been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
McConnell clearly suffering some type of episode, freezing in front of the cameras, unable to speak for 20 seconds. His colleagues, including Senator John Barrasso, who is a doctor, clearly worried.
Wait a minute. Are you good? Mitch?
Okay, Mitch. Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your office? Do you want to say anything else to the press?
The 81-year-old slowly stepped aside and was escorted to his office. 12 minutes later, he was back in front of the microphones trying to brush off concerns.
I'm fine.
You're fine, you're fully able to do your job.
He continued answering questions, but as he walked away, so many still remain.
Really scary moment seeing that happen in real time. Rachel Scott joins us now from Capitol Hill. Rachel, how's Senator McConnell's office reacting tonight?
Well, aides close to McConnell telling me that the Republican leader felt lightheaded during his press conference today, but his office declined to answer any further questions about his health or if he had plans to see a doctor after that episode. But of course, all this comes just months after McConnell suffered a serious fall. He spent weeks, as you remember, recovering from a fractured rib and a concussion, Lindsay.
All right, Rachel Scott from Capitol Hill for us. Thanks so much, Rachel. After years of standing by statements alleging 2 election workers in Georgia helped rig the 2020 presidential election, Rudy Giuliani is making a sudden about-face, conceding he made false statements about the mother-daughter duo. Giuliani repeatedly accused Ruby Freeman and her daughter Shay Moss of handling suitcases full of illegal ballots and passing USB drives, quote, as if they're vials of heroin or cocaine. They say their life has never been the same. Here's ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas.
Mr. Giuliani, when you met with Georgia lawmakers, did you lie to them?
Rudy Giuliani today not contesting that he made false statements about 2 Georgia election workers as he tried to overturn the election in that state. Giuliani repeatedly attacked the workers, Shay Moss and her mother, Ruby Freeman, who were only trying to count the votes.
Ruby Freeman and Shay Freeman Moss and one other gentleman quite obviously surreptitiously passing around USB ports as if they're vials of heroin or cocaine.
Those women both suing Giuliani for defamation. The court documents say he, for the purposes of this litigation only, does not contest the factual allegations. The mother and daughter told the January 6th committee how Giuliani's comments devastated their lives.
Now I won't even introduce myself by my name anymore. I get nervous when I bump into someone I know in the grocery store who says my name. I'm worried about who's listening.
I no longer give out my business card. I don't transfer calls. I don't want anyone knowing my name.
They insist that his words were life-changing. Pierre Thomas joins us. Now, Pierre, what larger impact could this have on the DOJ investigation?
Well, it's clear that the special counsel has wanted to talk to Rudy Giuliani, and we believe that that has taken place. But we have a statement tonight from Rudy Giuliani's attorney in which he says that Giuliani was not acknowledging making a false statement, only that he was not contesting those facts. But regardless, Lindsay, is that the reputations of those women was unfairly tainted.
All right, Pierre Thomas for us. Always good to have you here in
Pleasure.
studio.
Good to see you.
Overseas tonight, a jury in London has acquitted American actor Kevin Spacey on sexual assault charges brought by 4 men for incidents as far back as 2001. In court today, Spacey broke down in tears as the last of the not guilty verdicts were read. ABC's Lama Hassan has the latest from London.
Tonight, a major win for Kevin Spacey, the actor walking out of a London courtroom after a jury found him not guilty of sexual assault.
There's a lot for me to process. I'm enormously grateful to the jury for having taken the time to examine all of the evidence and all of the facts carefully before they reach their decision. And I am humbled by the outcome today.
Spacey cried as the verdict was read, mouthing thank you to the jury as they cleared him of 9 charges involving 4 men, while Spacey was artistic director at London's Old Vic Theatre. Prosecutors argued Spacey was a sexual bully who used his fame and power to prey on younger men. Spacey's lawyers hit back, saying the men lied and were motivated by money.
Of all the things I hold in high regard, rules are not one of them.
The 2-time Oscar winner was let go from his hit series House of Cards after allegations surfaced. Spacey told the court his world exploded. I lost my job. I lost my reputation. I lost everything in a matter of days.
Lindsay, today's acquittal comes on Kevin Spacey's 64th birthday, and it's just the latest legal victory involving sexual assault allegations. Now, Spacey has said he plans to return to acting and that there were people ready to hire him the moment he was cleared of the charges in London. Lindsay.
Lama, thank you. In Tennessee, public school educators and the Tennessee Education Association have filed a lawsuit against the state's Commissioner of Education and members of the State Board of Education, challenging the constitutionality of prohibited concepts law. This law prohibits the teaching of core subjects, which teachers say will deprive students of a quality education.
The goal behind this really just seems to be about changing the narrative of the American experience, and about withholding a lot of information from our students, about limiting what teachers can and can't say in our classrooms and controlling what we do in our classrooms. Yeah, I love teaching. It's amazing. But I want to give my students an authentic experience, an authentic education that will make them competitive with children that are raised in other states and other countries.
The lawsuit asks the court to issue a permanent injunction against the enforcement of the Prohibited Concepts Law, declaring it unconstitutional under the 14th Amendment. A North Carolina family is desperate for answers after a 39-year-old woman went missing more than a week ago. Police said Alicia Watts was last seen leaving a house in Charlotte. According to her sister, Watts was last seen with her boyfriend of 1 year. She also claims her phone was recovered at the boyfriend's house. Police said they are all following leads and using all available resources to locate Alicia. And we are tracking severe storms moving from the middle of the country into the northeast. The severe weather is being fueled by the scorching and deadly heat, with more than 100 million Americans under heat alerts tonight. Senior meteorologist Rob Marciano has more.
Tonight, severe storm fueled by extreme heat wreaking havoc. Beachgoers along Lake Michigan struggling to secure those tents in howling winds. This as 150 million Americans swelter under heat alerts from Burbank to Boston, where officials already declared a heat emergency ahead of tomorrow. Phoenix now hitting its 27th day of 110 or higher, and it hasn't dipped below 90 at night for 17 days. Today, Maricopa County officials announced they're investigating nearly 250 deaths reported or occurring in the past week as possibly heat-related. New York City rocked with storms overnight. Surveillance video capturing a confirmed microburst in Brooklyn. And now the city bracing for its first heat wave of the summer.
Whether it's flash floods, hurricanes, the heat that we're getting at the end of this week. You see what happened in Vermont recently. You see what's going on in the Southwest. This is the new normal.
Our senior meteorologist, Rob Marciano, is tracking what's coming next. Hey, Rob.
Hi, Lindsay. We had dozens of damaging wind reports today, and there were storms that just went through Cleveland, Erie. They should fizzle a bit, but look at the trail of damage along the borders of Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, and Wisconsin. Some of these had winds to 70 miles an hour. This energy will get into the northeast tomorrow. From D.C. up I-95 into New England, we'll see some storms as the heat builds, maybe even see some tornadoes. Speaking of heat, look at how widespread it is now. We've got alerts up from New England through the Midwest into Southern California, and so many cities tomorrow are going to feel like they're up and over 100 degrees as far north as Minneapolis and through Louisville, Philadelphia as well. And in New York and Boston, we get 3 days in a row of 90-plus heat. That would make it officially the first heat wave of the summer. It's been mild until now. It's about to get warm. Lindsay?
All right, Rob Marciano, the heat is on. The Federal Reserve raised interest rates once again, but signaled they no longer expect a recession. The 0.25% hike is the 11th in 17 months, bringing the interest rate to a 22-year high. It will have a bigger burden on borrowers with credit card rates already at a record high of 20% on average, and mortgage rates have more than doubled since March of last year. But inflation is slowing. It was up 3% last month over a year ago. ABC News has confirmed former Marine Trevor Reed, who was held captive by Russia for years and ultimately freed in a prisoner swap last year, is expected to make a full recovery after being wounded while fighting in Ukraine. That's according to two sources familiar with the situation. Reed was wounded after his unit advanced near the key city of Bakhmut in eastern Ukraine, where Ukrainian troops have been pushing forward as part of their counteroffensive. The unit had successfully pushed back Russian forces when Reed and others were wounded. The source also confirmed that Reed and others were hit with shrapnel, which struck him in both legs. And is anybody out there? That is the question behind the demands for transparency over UFOs by members of Capitol Hill at a hearing today. But there was one moment from that hearing that blew up the internet when former Air Force intelligence officer David Grush appeared before a House subcommittee telling lawmakers about an alleged decades-old government program to recover and re-engineer crashed alien spacecrafts, claiming in no uncertain terms the U.S. possesses alien bodies. Take a listen.
Biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
The Pentagon has previously denied similar accusations. Members of both parties stressed the need for greater clarity and voiced concerns over the national security threat posed by unidentified aerial objects. And there is still much more to get to here on Prime tonight. You may remember this, a train barreling into a patrol car with a suspect handcuffed inside. Now the officer is on trial. But next, rebuilding Notre Dame. As efforts are underway to return it to its former glory, builders are taking every step possible to do it in the most authentic way. In tonight's Prime Focus, we get a look inside.
We're really creating a replica down to each particular timber, each particular beam. Everyone is slightly different. We're recreating deformations. It's technically an extremely complex work that we're carrying out.
Whenever news breaks,
the crush of families here in Poland.
Here in Kentucky, no match for the tornado.
From Monterey Park, California, on the ground in Ukraine.
Reporting from Uvalde, Texas.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
From Kathmandu, Nepal.
Truckee, California, covering record snowfall.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
Here at this airport in Tampa, it's already shut down.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Reporting from Jerusalem.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming
ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
first thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Everybody in that home is okay.
To catch you up with what happened overnight.
We are here at fashion's biggest night out.
What's happening today? YouTube has unveiled a new set of policies.
What people are talking about, the new ad campaign.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
A real-life Barbie dream house.
A name change for the Wienermobile.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
Welcome back, everyone. As Notre Dame went up in flames, millions around the world froze at the images of parts of such a beloved structure collapsing. But the efforts to rebuild it are now well underway. And in tonight's Prime Focus, we take you inside a workshop where every piece, even every deformity, is being rebuilt just as it was. Here's our Inez de la Cotara.
It's almost like going back in time.
This is showing us the whole assembly of the truss as it will be once it's finished.
At this workshop in Normandy, France, nearly 24 carpenters are hard at work, chiseling and hammering away, working to rebuild one of the world's most famous cathedrals, Notre Dame. No power saws, no drills. Almost everything is being done by hand. In an effort to rebuild Notre Dame just as it was, they're using the same techniques the original builders used over 800 years ago.
So we're recreating identically what was there. So a few of the elements were pit sawn, so we are also pit sawing them.
Among them, 6 American carpenters with the rare skills needed for this type of work, like Will Gusikoff from Vermont, who packed up and moved to France 6 months ago.
It's certainly the honor of a lifetime. There's a certain amount of pressure and of pride in trying to do it right because this is such an important, high-profile building.
It's been 4 years since the fire that shocked the world. Notre Dame de Paris engulfed in flames, that famous spire collapsing. Firefighters battled the blaze for 9 hours. It's now believed to have been started either by a short circuit or a cigarette, many fearing the cathedral would not stand.
To watch it when it was going up in flames, how much work that represented, the heritage of it, needless to say, that was really hard to see.
Today, the work to bring the cathedral back to life is taking form. Each step is deliberate, down to the custom-made tools.
So this here is one of the axes that was custom designed and forged by these blacksmiths for the project, and it's actually been stamped with the logo of the architects and the public establishment of Notre Dame.
Those axes used to chip at the wood, which was sourced from close to 1,500 oak trees across France.
Every log has a number that corresponds to a GPS coordinate, and that is being traced throughout the entire process so that every single piece of wood, we know exactly where in the forest it came from.
It's part of the process to rebuild the cathedral's nave roof using no nails, instead joining each piece to the next like a giant puzzle.
No significant French building had ever been restored this way before, using hand hewing with axes, and we're really creating a replica down to each particular timber, each particular beam. Every one is slightly different. We're recreating deformations. It's technically an extremely complex work that we're carrying out.
Complex, but fulfilling. We were there as parts of the nave were hoisted up by a human chain on either side.
Vive Notre Dame, vive la France.
That work on display, soon to be transported to Notre Dame on these boats. just like they would have been all those years ago. Their final destination, the cathedral, that iconic building, one step closer to completion.
So many worldwide eager to see that building restored. Our thanks to Inez for that. Still much more to get to tonight on Prime. Coming up, a 3-month-old is left inside of a hot car for more than half an hour. What the baby's father is now saying as he faces charges. Plus, there are quite a few new faces on the U.S. women's national team. We introduce you to the young soccer players hoping to lead their team to victory. But next, you know, Barbie, Ken, Christy, perhaps even Midge. But what about Alan? We take a look at the often forgotten toy that's rising in popularity by the numbers.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers
in Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital. Destructive Cat 4 storm.
We're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
From America's #1 news comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter, and customizable to your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now.
I came out of jail with a plan. I was gonna put every piece of energy I had into music.
Give it up for Jelly Roll!
If I wasn't a musician, I'd be dead. This was my best bet to really have an impact. I'll cry with you. Who'd have thought I could help people? I needed help, you know, I still need help.
Somebody save me. I love you.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Everybody in that home is okay.
To catch you up with what happened overnight.
We are here at fashion's biggest night out.
What's happening today? YouTube has unveiled a new set of policies.
What people are talking about. The new ad campaign.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
A real-life Barbie dream house.
A name change for the Wienermobile.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
It was the ideal marriage. Little did I know I was married to a man who had done something so horrible that it would devastate our lives forever.
Teacher of the Year is now charged with sex crimes.
Only on Hulu.
He was living a double life.
The shocking story behind a #1 true crime podcast.
Prostitutes, escorts. He even cheated on me the week of our wedding.
Betrayal, the perfect husband.
He had a lot of fantasies.
Now streaming only on Hulu.
When I got sent to Idaho to cover the murders of 4 college students, it was a story that didn't make any sense. 4 students stabbed to death in their beds while 2 roommates were home.
You gotta think to yourself, okay, who's the target and how many people would a man go through to get to his target?
I'm Kana Whitworth with ABC News. This is the story of savage murders, a determined small-town police force, and a scholar of crime. This is the King Road Killings. The full series is out now. Listen to every episode wherever you get your podcasts.
This is where the newsmakers come first in the morning to be heard. America's #1 morning show.
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000. Yeah. Are you worried about going to jail?
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
Wherever the story, ABC's Good Morning America is right there.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey, I'm David Muir. Wherever the story, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back, everyone. Barbie and Ken, they were household names long before Greta Gerwig's blockbuster movie release. But Ken's friend Alan, you wouldn't be alone if until this weekend you asked, Alan who? He's the neglected sidekick no more. Here's a long look at Alan's long-awaited rise to fame by the numbers. Alan was first introduced in 1964 as Ken's best buddy, but he didn't catch on and was discontinued a few years later. In 1991, he made a comeback as Alan with one L, the husband of Barbie's friend Midge. But once again, he flopped and was discontinued in the early aughts. Fast forward to just a few days ago when Barbie hit theaters and Alan's flop flipped. The movie raked in $214 million in the U.S. so far, with Michael Cera's portrayal of humble Alan becoming the dark horse fan favorite. On eBay, sellers are asking for at least $150, and some are asking for more than $300 for those vintage Alan dolls. Compare that to just last week before the movie's release, when Alan doll prices topped out around $70. Still, despite Alan's sudden emergence from the shadows, Mattel says they do not have plans to reintroduce the doll. But let's see if all this sudden love for Alan changes their mind. And we still have much more ahead on Prime tonight. Summertime means more families are spending time in the water. The 5 skills experts say your child should know before taking a dip. And a surprise meal for passengers, why they were served KFC during a long flight. But first, a look at our top trending stories on abcnews.com.
What does it take to be America's #1 news? It takes asking the straightforward, tough questions.
Do you believe that Donald Trump should ever be president again?
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000.
Yeah.
Are you worried about going to jail?
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
The news-making interviews.
You said that there were 6 friends. One of them was sick.
Yeah.
Do you have future political aspirations?
Going to the front line.
The search for survivors. How does this war end?
And getting to the heart of the story.
Thank you for being here. We'll be here for the long run.
ABC News, #1 in the morning, the #1 newscast, #1 in daytime talk, Friday nights, Sunday mornings versus the competition, and the #1 streaming news. Thank you for making ABC News America's trusted, straightforward first choice.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Everybody in that home is okay.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. We are here at fashion's biggest night out.
What's happening today? YouTube has unveiled a new set of policies.
What people are talking about, the new ad campaign.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
A real-life Barbie dream house.
A name change for the Wienermobile.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital. Destructive Cat 4 storm.
We're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
When I got sent to Idaho to cover the murders of 4 college students, it was a story that didn't make any sense. 4 students stabbed to death in their beds while 2 roommates were home.
You gotta think to yourself, okay, who's the target and how many people would a man go through to get to his target?
I'm Kana Whitworth with ABC News. This is the story of savage murders, a determined small-town police force, and a scholar of crime. This is the King Road Killings. The full series is out now. Listen to every episode wherever you get your podcasts.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're going to love it.
This is ABC News Live Prime.
Thanks so much for streaming with us.
Live reporting, breaking news, exclusives, award-winning, powerful, eye-opening. ABC News Live Prime with Lindsay Davis. Streaming weeknights.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yeah.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
A father speaks after police say he left a 3-month-old in a hot car. The trial begins for an officer charged in the death of a person in police custody and a very surprising mid-flight meal. These stories and much more in tonight's rundown.
A Florida father and aunt are accused of leaving a 3-month-old girl strapped in a hot car for more than a half hour. The Broward Sheriff's Office said John Polidor and Rose Bellamy were shopping for cars Monday when they allegedly left the girl in the vehicle outside where there was a 109-degree heat index. Polidor eventually took the girl out, and officials said witnesses claimed she appeared lethargic and unconscious. The girl did survive. Polidor and Bellamy each charged with child neglect. The girl's father explained what happened to WPLG.
We totally forgot that she was there.
How could you forget?
I mean, I don't know.
The officer accused of placing a handcuffed female suspect in the back of a patrol car moments before a freight train plowed into it is standing trial. Police body and dash cameras capturing the horrifying crash. Officer Jordan Steinke is facing 2 charges: felony attempted reckless manslaughter and misdemeanor reckless endangerment.
The woman who survived the collision, 21-year-old Yorini Rios Gonzalez, was initially arrested and charged with a misdemeanor for an alleged road rage incident back in September. She pled no contest. According to court records, she will avoid jail time if she follows the conditions of that deferred sentence and completes community service.
An Ohio police department has fired an officer involved in releasing a canine dog who bit a surrendering truck driver. The Circleville Police Department said they fired Officer Ryan Speakman after an investigation, saying his actions during the July 4th incident involving Jadarius Rose did not meet the standards and expectations they held for their officers. That firing comes as new footage has emerged showing another view of the incident. Rose, seen on his knees after leading officers on a brief chase. Speakman appears to let the dog go after him despite warnings from other officers. They've arrested 5 current and former Florida high school workers for failing to report child abuse. Police booked Palm Beach Central High School's principal, 2 assistant principals, choir director, and former behavior therapist on charges Monday. Affidavit said the 5 did not report the alleged abuse of a 15-year-old girl in 2021. That girl and her family did not press charges, but an investigation found the 5 employees did not report the abuse to the Department of Children and Families, which is mandated by Florida law. Failure to report child abuse is a 3rd-degree felony in the state.
A recent British Airways flight got a late meal assist from the colonel. The crew of a 12.5-hour flight from Nassau to London determined their in-flight meals had gone bad. The airline said that there were limited options at the Nassau airport, so the crew sprung into action to buy enough KFC chicken to feed the passengers. British Airways said passengers also received a refreshment voucher when they landed. All told, it was an original solution, or perhaps extra crispy. Country star Luke Combs helped this 8-year-old fan fulfill his wish on stage at Gillette Stadium. Combs brought up Cooper Massengill, a young fan fighting leukemia whose dream was to see Combs in concert. The Make-A-Wish Foundation made it happen, and Combs took it from there. Combs and Cooper performed a duet of Fast Car to the delight of the crowd, who chanted Cooper's name at the end.
What a sweet moment there. Summertime, of course, means time to swim, and there are 5 skills that your child should know before heading to the beach or pool. According to the American Red Cross, 85% of people say that they can swim, but only about half of those self-described swimmers can perform all 5 of the basic skills that might just help keep them alive in the water. I brought along a special guest with me to the pool to demonstrate those skills. As summer temperatures soar, it's now during the summer months when we see an increase in fatalities and injuries due to drowning. 7-year-old Griffin Emerson was playing in the shallow end of his apartment pool in Michigan when he took off his floaties and drifted toward the deep end.
I just wanted to prove myself. Yeah, I can actually, swim and stuff.
In this surveillance video, you can see as Griffin starts to struggle. Nearly a minute goes by as he begins to sink to the bottom, and no one seems to notice until 2 young brothers at the pool see he's in trouble and jump in to help, pulling Griffin to the surface.
He's not breathing.
Could somebody start CPR? His mom is doing CPR on him.
She gets Griffin breathing again, and the boys who leapt into action are hailed as heroes for their quick thinking.
Biggest misconception about drowning is that we're going to be able to hear it, that we're going to hear splashing, people are going to be able to call for help, and that's not the case. Drowning is actually silent.
According to the Red Cross, 85% of people claim they can swim, but a little more than half of them can actually perform all 5 of the basic skills that might help save their life in water.
Why are these particular skills so important?
So there are skills that if you accidentally fall in the water, you're able to know that your child or yourself is able to save yourself.
Red Cross swim instructor Kate Waxler takes my son through the 5 basic skills of water competency. The first is entering the water safely.
Aiden, we're going to do the first step, which is jumping in and then coming back up. You ready? Yeah. All right, 1, 2, 3, go.
Second, treading or floating for at least 60 seconds.
Good job, you're doing great.
Experts say that gives you time to get your bearings in an emergency. Third, turning a full circle to be able to find an exit.
You're just going to turn all the way around so you're facing me again. Perfect.
The fourth,
one of the hardest steps, we're going to swim 25 yards. So in this pool, it's up and back.
25 yards, an important distance to show stamina in case of emergency. And finally, the 5th skill, being able to exit the water safely. In a pool, that means without the assistance of a ladder or steps. Even with these skills, Waxler says it's important to always keep an eye on kids in and around water. Tragedy can happen in seconds.
Even when your kids have swim competency, you never want to swim alone. It's a club you never want to be in where something happened to your child and it's, I didn't know. The pool is an amazing, great place. We just need to make sure that we use it safely.
Drowning is a leading cause of death for children. Research shows, though, that children under 4 can reduce their drowning risk up to 88% if enrolled in formal lessons. Special thanks to my son for helping Mom out on that assignment. Now to one historic birth. A new mom and dad are sharing their joy, which just culminated in the birth of their son thanks to the miracle of science. ABC's Rhiannon Alley has more.
It's a medical milestone in the U.S. For the first time outside a clinical trial, a uterus transplant recipient has delivered a healthy baby.
For us, this is what I feel like I knew that I was supposed to do this.
When Mallory was a teenager, she learned she was born without a uterus and would never be able to biologically carry a child.
My sister's very close, so she'd always said from diagnosis that she was going to be our surrogate for us.
And she was, carrying Mallory and Nick's first daughter.
From the minute she could talk, she was always asking for a sibling. So I feel like our trying to have another one was for her purposes.
Mallory and her husband Nick decided to participate in a program at the University of Alabama at Birmingham, and soon they were accepted.
I think we were both in shock.
Yeah, I think that's the best way of putting it.
First, Mallory went through a uterus transplant, followed 9 months later by an embryo transplant.
Women's health and reproductive medicine is really about making sure there are options for women. Babies being born is always a special event. But, and I'm using some strong words here, but I think of these as our miracle babies.
I never once thought, like, what if this doesn't work? I knew it would.
More than 2 decades after her diagnosis, Mallory defied the odds, giving birth to her son.
I got to hold him, and I was just very overwhelmed that he was actually there and he was healthy.
Very sweet story. Our thanks to Rhiannon for bringing us that. This is not a tall tale, this next story. First, it was Barbiecore. Now there's a mercore trend. From the big screen to social media, fans have turned dressing up as mermaids into a multi-million-dollar industry. Janae Norman has the story that's quite literally making a splash.
Mermaids are having a moment.
From Disney's live-action Little Mermaid star Halle Bailey showing off red carpet looks inspired by her character Ariel to the hashtag Mercore aesthetic trending on social media.
Blue maxi dresses, sequin purses, and a fishing net that we got stuck in at the bottom of the sea, and now we're wearing it as a shawl.
Millions mesmerized by the mythical sea creatures.
Mermaids, they are mysterious, they're talented, they're powerful, and they also serve as a symbol of the ocean and protecting the ocean.
But it turns out this isn't just a fishy fairy tale. It's big business too, as people are turning their obsession into a serious hobby, some even making a career out of it. The mermaid tail industry now worth over an estimated $150 million. Hannah Burgess is one of those enthusiasts riding the wave, taking the plunge into full-time work as a mermaid, performing at shows like this one at the Philadelphia Aquarium, and making tails at a North Carolina company called Finfolk.
We make probably 10 to 20 silicone tails every year. It's entirely tailored to one specific person. It's someone's second skin.
Some experts say there are real benefits to this type of costume play or cosplay, like building community and creativity.
We all have alter egos. I think what cosplay does is it gives a clearer opportunity for some part of you to come out that may not be in the forefront for you, or to aspire to develop that part of you that may not be developed.
As for Hannah, she says the best part of her job is helping raise awareness about ocean conservation.
Little steps that we take in our lives, whether it be performing as a mermaid or recycling or choosing sustainable seafood, all of those go into being a symbol of the ocean.
Interesting stuff there. Our thanks to Janae for that. The U.S. women's national team is hoping to make it to the very end, and tonight's match will have them up against the same competitor they beat in the last World Cup final. And that last World Cup final is not just a moment that many of the players on this team didn't experience, but some of them watched as high schoolers. Now they're playing alongside their heroes and eager to prove that they have what it takes to win another title. Our Maggie Rulli spoke with some of the new members of the U.S. women's national team.
Down that left side.
This next gen is the now gen. The newest members of the U.S. women's team are showing their stuff with standout plays on the field.
Sophia Smith. That one's picked. Rodman, another player from the Washington Spirit, sending it across.
And they're proving they belong alongside the game's greats. 14 women are playing in their first ever World Cup, and they're already making a huge splash.
On the chance of Smith.
22-year-old Sophia Smith stealing the spotlight in the opening game with not one, but 2 goals.
She's got 2. Sophia Smith.
The scoring sensation named player of the match. Receiving the trophy from her proud dad, Kenny. Her best friend on the team, fellow Stanford alum Naomi Girma, also playing in her first World Cup.
It's amazing. I mean, we've worked so long for this, so hard. So I think now to be at our first World Cup is such an incredible moment.
It's something that you dream about as a little girl, so it's like it's pretty surreal. Yeah.
We sat down with these besties in their first interview together.
You mentioned those dreams and being a part of this team. Are there people that you watched growing up that you looked up to?
Yeah, like the whole team.
Everyone on the
like anyone like over the age of like 25. I feel like we grew up watching them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it like to have all those people that you looked up to now become your teammates?
It's kind of crazy. I feel like we've like been with it for a little bit now. Like we've been into camp, so I feel like we're maybe a little more used to it. But there are some days where I still like look over and like Pino's sitting at dinner and I'm like, whoa, like we're like teammates. But like she's just Pino. Like you don't think anything of that. But it's like so crazy that these are players that we grew up watching, and now we're just like chilling with them every day.
Yeah.
Horan Settle shoots. Finally for Lindsey Horan.
That camaraderie leading to plays like this one against Vietnam.
Have any of the veterans had words of advice for you guys?
Yeah. A lot.
Every day. I don't even know where to start. Yeah. I feel like they've been here and they've done it and they've won these, they've lost, like they've felt every emotion there is to feel. So we feel comfortable going and talking to them and getting advice, but they're just, yeah, they remind us every day that it's not going to be easy, which I think is good for us to know.
But these newbies are also teaching the veterans a thing or two.
Crystal was getting Naomi's phone number for the first time, and she was like, okay, I'm gonna call you, and you'll know that that's me, so you'll have my number. And we're like, Crystal, just text her. Literally just text her and say, this is Crystal. And she's like, oh my God, I didn't know I could do that.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I was like, call. Like, no one's really calling anyone anymore.
Another player making her World Cup debut, Alyssa Thompson. At 18, the youngest member of the team. Alyssa says growing up, one of her idols was Alex Morgan, now a teammate.
What was it like when you first met her and said, by the way, we're going to be playing together?
I didn't say anything. I was just super nervous, just saying hi. I'm pretty shy, so I just like waved from a distance, and she said hi, so yeah, that was it.
But despite her age, Alyssa says she knows she belongs.
I think just every time I step onto the field, I know what like the job is and the mission is, and being able to have teammates around me that support me and believe in me, it just makes me feel like I can do this and I'm deserving of being here.
Meanwhile, this rising star still lives at home with her proud parents. And in between breaking records, she's still expected to do her chores.
There's obviously a balance to it. You know, she's a professional, so we are very mindful of those things. But yeah, we tell her, hey, clean up your room. There's stuff on the floor, and we still talk about those things, definitely.
She's still 18. What's your nickname? Everyone here has cute nicknames.
I don't really have a nickname like Liz, or like Soph and Ash like called me Little Squishy, and like Sonnet called me something like, because I'm small, so they're like Little Beans or something. I don't know, I forgot what it was.
Little Squishy's pretty cute. Yeah. That's really cute.
And just like the teammates who came before them, these fresh faces are relishing their roles as leaders off the field.
Together.
They're committed to raising awareness on mental health.
But you got this. You got this. Dig in, reach out.
Vulnerability is a sign of strength, not weakness.
That's one of the best parts of being on this team, is you're doing so much more than just playing the game that you love. And you kind of know that coming onto this team. But once you get here and are around people who you see creating such a big change, you realize like we could do that too, and we have the platform now, and we can be those players, and it's a really cool feeling.
I bet it is. Look at that excitement there. I'm still stuck on Little Squishy. Maggie Rulli joins us live from New Zealand. Maggie, the team is going up against the Netherlands tonight, who they beat 2-0 in the 2019 World Cup final. What are they up against this time?
Oh, Lindsay, this is going to be the biggest match for Team USA in the group round, but we're feeling good, aren't we, guys? We're feeling good! But you know, Lindsay, it is going to be tough. As you just said, we went up against the Netherlands in the 2019 finals. We saw them. We beat them back then 4 years ago. But the Dutch, they are out for revenge. This is going to kind of be the make or break. It might set the tone for the rest of the World Cup. So huge game that's coming up right now, Lindsay.
And, of course, as we see right there, there's a lot of support for the U.S. team in New Zealand. What are you hearing from fans?
Well, what Lindsay wants to know what we're hearing from fans. Go Team USA, that's what we're hearing? Lindsay, this group of fans right here, you're part of the American Outlaws that come over from all over the states saying, go USA. Lindsay?
Oh, we are saying it here as well, Maggie. Thanks so much. Great to have you over there, and go USA. And that is our show for this hour. I'm Lindsay Davis. Stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. The news never stops. Thanks so much for streaming with us. Coming up in the next hour, the terrifying moments during rush hour in New York City when a construction crane caught on fire and then came crashing down. Plus, hundreds of firefighters are working overtime, battling raging wildfires. What investigators say started the flames.
This is ABC News Live Prime.
Thanks so much for streaming with us.
Live reporting, breaking news, exclusives, award-winning, powerful, eye-opening. ABC News Live Prime with Lindsay Davis. Streaming weeknights. From America's #1 news comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter, and customizable to your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now. This is where the newsmakers come first in the morning to be heard. America's #1 morning show.
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000. Yeah. Are you worried about going to jail?
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
Wherever the story, ABC's Good Morning America is right there.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers.
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital. Destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5. Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
It was the ideal marriage. Little did I know I was married to a man who had done something so horrible that it would devastate our lives forever.
Teacher of the Year is now charged with sex crimes.
Only on Hulu.
He was living a double life.
The shocking story behind a #1 true crime podcast.
Prostitutes, escorts. He even cheated on me the week of our wedding.
Betrayal, the perfect husband.
He had a lot of fantasies.
Now streaming only on Hulu.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
When I got sent to Idaho to cover the murders of 4 college students, it was a story that didn't make any sense. 4 students stabbed to death in their beds while 2 roommates were home.
You gotta think to yourself, okay, who's the target and how many people would a man go through to get to his target?
I'm Kana Whitworth with ABC News. This is the story of savage murders, a determined small-town police force, and a scholar of crime. This is the King Road Killings. The full series is out now. Listen to every episode wherever you get your podcasts.
Reporting from Monterey Park, California, I'm Robin Roberts. Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Good evening, everyone. This is ABC News Live Prime. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us. We've got a lot of news to get to this evening, including the sudden plea deal collapse between the president's son and federal prosecutors, what that now means for the president. Plus, the terrifying moments of plane collapsed on a crane collapsed on a high-rise, falling feet below, injuring several people nearby, and what we're learning of the operator behind that crane. And we're in Albania as hundreds of firefighters battle blazes raging across the country's southern region. But we do begin with the dramatic scene inside a Delaware federal courthouse today as a plea deal between prosecutors and the president's son fell apart. For nearly 3 hours, the judge scrutinized the details of an agreement to allow Hunter Biden to plead guilty to misdemeanor tax charges and avoid prosecution on a felony gun charge, calling the deal atypical. House Republicans are applauding the judge's decision as they pursue their own investigation into Hunter Biden's business and whether his father was ever involved. Meanwhile, the president continues to stay largely silent on the matter. Today, the White House repeated that the case is being handled independently by the Justice Department and a Trump-appointed prosecutor. But is that enough to calm the political cries of nepotism and corruption? ABC senior national correspondent Terry Moran is at the courthouse where it all went down.
Hunter Biden came to the federal courthouse in Wilmington this morning expecting to put his legal troubles behind him. But it was a day of unexpected courtroom drama and an unforeseen twist. For 5 years, David Weiss, the U.S. attorney in Delaware appointed by Donald Trump, had been investigating the president's son until finally last month, the prosecutors and Hunter Biden cut a deal. Biden agreed to plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax charges for failing to file taxes in 2017 and 2018. And prosecutors agreed not to prosecute Biden for lying about his drug use when he purchased a gun in 2018, as long as Biden remained drug-free for 2 years. But today, inside the courtroom of federal Judge Mary Ellen Noriega, it was immediately clear that this deal was in trouble. Judge Noriega, appointed by President Trump, peppered lawyers on both sides with questions and repeatedly took issue with the negotiated plea deal, calling it not straightforward, atypical, saying she would not rubber stamp it, and asking, is this even constitutional? At one point, the judge asked prosecutors if the proposed deal would give Hunter Biden immunity from prosecution for any other possible crimes he may have committed, including in his business dealings in other countries such as Ukraine and China. When a prosecutor answered no, Biden's lawyer, Chris Clark, shot back that in that case, the deal was null and void. That set off a flurry of tense negotiations, some during brief recesses, some right out in open court. At one point, Biden's lawyer walking across the courtroom, arms outstretched and threatening to rip it up. Really bad for everyone. No good, he was heard saying moments later. Hunter Biden clearly agitated. Ultimately, Judge Noriega asking prosecutors if there was still an ongoing investigation into Hunter Biden. The prosecutor responded, there is. At the end of the 3-hour hearing, Judge Noriega ordering both sides to talk again and return in about 30 days, adding, I'm not going to say I'm going to accept the agreement. I'm not going to say I'll deny it. Hunter Biden then pleaded not guilty to the tax charges while negotiations continue, and he left the courthouse with so much still unresolved.
Yeah, all up in the air there. Our thanks to Terry. A terrifying scene during rush hour here in New York City today. A giant construction crane caught fire 45 stories up. Its arm snapped off. You see it right there, causing it to come crashing down to the ground, injuring several people. And ABC News has learned that the owner of the crane was also reportedly involved in another crash that killed 7 people. Ariel Reshef is on the scene.
It was a terrifying morning in Midtown Manhattan. A giant crane on fire, collapsing, slamming into a nearby skyscraper, plunging at least 45 stories to the street below, sending people running for their lives.
The crane fell.
This video showing panicked construction workers inside the building.
Should we get out? I don't know. Is it going to keep falling off? Let's go.
As I'm in the building, I could have swore it was my last day.
That crane was lifting 16 tons of concrete. You can hear the roar of debris raining down.
Just the building shaking alone was enough for everybody just to run away.
Firefighters rushing to the scene, spraying water on the flames from an adjacent rooftop.
You should remember, struck by debris from the crane.
Miraculously, no one was killed, but 11 suffering non-life-threatening injuries.
This is the aftermath. You can see that crane came to rest on top of scaffolding, twisted and mangled metal littering the roadway in the heart of Manhattan.
Officials say the fire started in the engine compartment of that crane around 7:30 a.m. The operator trying to put it out with a fire extinguisher before escaping. Amanda Drews and Alex Zay were in their apartment when that crane smashed into their window.
I heard the big explosion and then something falling, and then all 3 of my window panes blew in my face.
And tonight, ABC News learning the company that owned the crane from today's incident was also involved in 2 deadly crane collapses back in 2008. The company has not responded to a request for comment.
Our thanks to Ariel Reshef. Now to a concerning moment making headlines from Capitol Hill today after Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell appeared to freeze while speaking at a press conference. His colleagues led him away before returning to the microphone after a few minutes. But the moment has left onlookers wondering what happened and what is the condition of McConnell's health. Here's ABC senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott.
Well, good afternoon, everyone.
It began just like any other press conference, but within seconds, it took a troubling turn. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell unable to finish his sentence.
We're on a path to finishing the NDA this week. It's been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
McConnell clearly suffering some type of episode, freezing in front of the cameras, unable to speak for 20 seconds. His colleagues, including Senator John Barrasso, who is a doctor, clearly worried.
Wait a minute. Are you good? Mitch?
Okay, Mitch. Anything else you want to say, or should I just go back to your office? Do you want to say anything else to the press?
The 81-year-old slowly stepped aside and was escorted to his office. 12 minutes later, he was back in front of the microphones trying to brush off concerns.
I'm fine.
You're fine, you're fully able to do your job?
He continued answering questions, but as he walked away, so many still remain.
Our thanks to Rachel for that. Overseas in the United Kingdom, a London jury has acquitted Kevin Spacey on sexual assault charges stemming from allegations by 4 men dating back 20 years. Spacey cried in the court as the not guilty verdict was read. Spacey's 2 days of testimony culminated with him choking up as he spoke of his 6 years without work since the sex abuse allegations against him surfaced back in 2017. Spacey said he was enormously grateful to the jury in reaching their decision. Tonight, the world has lost a music icon after multi-platinum recording artist, Irish singer-songwriter Sinead O'Connor was pronounced dead at the age of 56. O'Connor rose to fame in her 20s with her evocative voice and provocative behavior, making headlines. And throughout her life, she was open about her struggle with mental illness. Eva Pilgrim has more on her life and the legacy she leaves behind.
She was as gifted as she was provocative, with iconic hits like Nothing Compares to You. And tonight, the family of Sinead O'Connor, the famed Irish singer-songwriter, announcing her death in a statement, writing, "Her family and friends are devastated." Born in Dublin, she became a breakout star in the 80s and 90s. With her trademark shaved head and angst-filled voice, she catapulted to worldwide fame in her 20s with her cover of Prince's Nothing Compares to You. In 1991, that song helped her win a Grammy, which she famously refused to accept. For decades, O'Connor, known as much for her music as for her controversy, in 1992 sparking fierce outrage after ripping up a photo of Pope John Paul II on national television to protest child sexual abuse in the Catholic Church.
Fight the real enemy.
Decades later, O'Connor converted to Islam. Her songs often a reflection of a tormented personal life, for years in and out of rehab for depression, addiction, and trauma. And last year, hospitalized after the death of her 17-year-old son, Shane. Sinead O'Connor, who defied institutions and convention from her image to her music, was 56.
Our thanks to Eva for that. And we are tracking severe storms moving from the middle of the country into the northeast. The severe weather is being fueled by the scorching and deadly heat, with more than 100 million Americans under heat alerts tonight. Our senior meteorologist, Rob Marciano, has more.
Tonight, severe storm fueled by extreme heat wreaking havoc. Beachgoers along Lake Michigan struggling to secure those tents in howling winds. This as 150 million Americans swelter under heat alerts from Burbank to Boston, where officials already declared a heat emergency ahead of tomorrow. Phoenix now hitting its 27th day of 110 or higher, and it hasn't dipped below 90 at night for 17 days. Today, Maricopa County officials announced they're investigating nearly 250 deaths reported or occurring in the past week as possibly heat-related. New York City rocked with storms overnight. Surveillance video capturing a confirmed microburst in Brooklyn. And now the city bracing for its first heat wave of the summer.
Whether it's flash floods, hurricanes, the heat that we're getting at the end of this week. You see what happened in Vermont recently. You see what's going on in the Southwest. This is the new normal.
Our senior meteorologist, Rob Marciano, is tracking what's coming next. Hey, Rob.
Hi, Lindsay. We had dozens of damaging wind reports today, and there were storms that just went through Cleveland, Erie. They should fizzle a bit, but look at the trail of damage along the borders of Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, and Wisconsin. Some of these had winds to 70 miles an hour. This energy will get into the Northeast tomorrow. From D.C. up I-95 into New England, we'll see some storms as the heat builds, maybe even see some tornadoes. Speaking of heat, look at how widespread it is now. We've got alerts up from New England through the Midwest into Southern California, and so many cities tomorrow are going to feel like they're up and over 100 degrees as far north as Minneapolis and through Louisville, Philadelphia as well. And in New York and Boston, we get 3 days in a row of 90-plus heat. That would make it officially the first heat wave of the summer. It's been mild until now. It's about to get warm. Lindsay?
All right, Rob Marciano, the heat is on. Still much more to get to tonight on Prime. Coming up, a 15-year-old is placed in a medical facility after being diagnosed with leprosy. Author Wendy Chin Tanner tells us how her new fictional book is inspired by her father's real-life experience. But next, deadly prison riots, the progress made releasing hostages as gang clashes unfold at multiple prisons.
Whenever news breaks,
the crush of families here in Poland.
Here in Kentucky, no match for the tornado.
From Monterey Park, California, on the ground in Ukraine.
Reporting from Uvalde, Texas.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
From Kathmandu, Nepal.
In Truckee, California, covering record snowfall.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
Here at this airport in Tampa, it's already shut down.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Reporting from Jerusalem.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London. Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming
ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yeah.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
Reporting from Denver, I'm Mola Lengi. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back. We're tracking several headlines around the world. Hundreds of Albanian firefighters battled the blazes that have ravaged the country's southern region while a firefighting helicopter was dropping water over a forest on fire. Albanian police say that they've seen an increase in cases of arson in the past few days, and they've identified 14 people charged with starting the fires. Many farmers in Albania set fire to cultivated fields to clear stubble, weeds, and waste before sowing a new crop. At least 31 people are dead in Ecuador due to violence from prison riots. Some 120 prison officers were freed after being held hostage in 6 jails around the country. Clashes between gangs began on Saturday, causing the country to declare a 60-day state of emergency for the country's prisons. A new report suggests Mexican security forces were complicit in the 2014 abduction of 43 student teachers and concealed documents which showed that where some of them were taken. Furthermore, their findings stated that the Army, Navy, police, and intelligence agencies knew minute by minute where the students were. The Army said it had no comment. The Navy did not respond to a request for comment, and Mexico's armed forces have long denied having information about the disappearances. The scene is Carville, Louisiana. A former plantation turned into a medical quarantine facility treating Hansen's disease, more commonly known as leprosy. 15-year-old Victor Chin is its newest patient, a teenager from the Bronx who works at his dad's laundry shop. That's the premise of King of the Armadillos by Wendy Chin Tanner, who joins us now to discuss her debut novel, a fictional story inspired by her father's real-life experience. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So first of all, let's start with King of the Armadillos. What does the title mean?
Well, armadillos are the only other creature besides human beings who can contract Hansen's disease or leprosy. So in the book, it's a symbol because armadillos have this armor, but they are also so susceptible and tender in some ways.
So your dad spent his formative years at Carville after he had been diagnosed with Hansen's disease. Give us a sense for what inspired you to write this novel based not only on your dad, but also Carville itself.
Yeah, so I've known about Carville since I was a little girl. My dad was very open with me about his experience since he was there for 9 years, from the time he was a teenager to the time that he was a young man. Some of his best stories, most of his best stories, were set at Carville. So for me, it was this magical place like Narnia or Oz. We didn't talk about it outside of our home until fast forward many decades, and my dad was recovering from cancer, and he decided that taboos were for the birds. And we were in his surgeon's office talking about his experience with Hansen's and Carville, and his surgeon didn't know anything about it. So my dad and I just, after we got home, we said, wow, this is actually a really important piece of American history, American medical history, but also American cultural history that people don't know about.
I want to just read a quick excerpt from the book. Henry made it sound like his future depended on keeping his illness a secret. Was leprosy really so horrible that it would ruin his life, whether or not he got well? And what would it do to his family? Come on, Sam, Ruth scoffed. It's 1954, not 1354. You don't understand. Customers would stop coming to the laundry. We could lose everything. Now, granted, 1954 is a long time ago, but there has long been, even going back to biblical times, basically the stigma that's associated with leprosy. Talk to us about your main character and how it impacts their family and also personally for your dad.
Yeah, for sure. So the biblical illness of leprosy was actually a conflation of a lot of different skin diseases. So it's kind of a misinformed understanding of what Hansen's is. Hansen's was discovered in the 19th century by a Norwegian physician named Dr. Hansen, and it is a bacteria that is minimally contagious and is entirely curable. Victor, as a 15-year-old who had been separated from his mother already, is living with his father, Sam, in the Bronx at the back of their laundry, and he's already lost one home, and then he's torn away from another to be taken to Carville, where he has to be quarantined until or unless he's cured. So while he's there, he makes this incredible discovery. In addition to getting well, he makes the discovery that he has a gift, and that gift is music.
And I'm curious about the parallels here, because it seems like, based on how you depict it in the book, that Carville really isn't this place of dread for Victor. What was it like for your dad, who spent so much time there?
So Carville was a remarkable place. That's part of the reason why I wanted to write this book. The community of patients at Carville, they were incredibly diverse from all over the country and all walks of life, and they created this very progressive patient community that was able to advocate for themselves, even though they were so different from one another. So my dad actually had a wonderful experience there in some ways. Apart from being very ill, he was given music lessons like Victor. He was given piano, voice, and composition lessons. He finished high school there. And he was also exposed to this way of being an American, I think, this way of being politically active and engaged. which he brought with him into adulthood and into his fatherhood. I think Carville made him the man he is, and it made me the person I am too.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Wendy Chin Tanner, King of the Armadillos, is now available wherever books are sold. And still to come, some loves do last a lifetime. After nearly 6 decades together, one couple makes a final wish. See their touching request coming up.
When I got sent to Idaho to cover the murders of 4 college students, it was a story that didn't make any sense. 4 students stabbed to death in their beds while 2 roommates were home.
You gotta think to yourself, okay, who's the target and how many people would a man go through to get to his target?
I'm Kana Whitworth with ABC News. This is the story of savage murders, a determined small-town police force, and a scholar of crime. This is the King Road Killings. The full series is out now. Listen to every episode wherever you get your podcasts.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television. From America's #1 news comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter, and customizable to your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
Finally tonight, it's a love story that reminds us all not to take the little things for granted. One Michigan couple, they're both in hospice and getting their final last wish, a dinner date together. Reporter Alexandra Bahu with our partner station WXYZ has their touching story.
When I spotted her, it was like, wow. Who is that?
It was love at first sight.
Married 58 years and through raising 6 kids, the pair was nearly inseparable.
Everything we did together. I mean, I knew her so well I could finish her sentence.
We do love each other. It's 58 years. 58 years with the same man.
I know. She wants a big old crown.
Yeah.
It's a bond that's held true even now. Larry and Betty entering home hospice care just a few months apart.
He has stage 4 COPD. I have stage 4 COPD, stage 4 congestive heart failure. They told me that in November of last year. They give him 6 months. They give me a year.
The couple using this time to spend it with the people they love the most.
She had bracelets, and inside is remember when. So when I come and see her, I'll hug her, and I always tell her, "Gonna remember when."
But getting around for Larry and Betty is a lot harder these days.
If we're lucky, once a month we can go with one of the kids to the grocery store. If we're lucky and feel good enough, it's like watching the most special thing in your life sitting there suffering. And there's not a thing you can do.
Most of their time spent around this table, playing games, talking to one another.
Get up in the morning, nothing gets done until we sit and talk with each other. I mean, I won't let her even go blow her nose. You sit here and talk to me first.
But there was one big thing they really missed doing together, and that was going on a date.
Hey, buddy.
So their team at Harmony Cares Hospice stepped in, arranging a date to one of their favorite local spots, the Golden Corral.
To celebrate 2 people that are
am clearly in love and still to this day is amazing to be a part of.
The red one is the honey butter. And I can't believe they're doing this. It's late. But I appreciate it. We appreciate it so much that they're doing this so we can go out. No, we made it. It's so
And so on this day, Larry and Betty got their wish, sitting down at their special table at their special place to celebrate their special love.
For them to be able to go out together today and have a special date, it'll be a memory I will keep forever.
And a memory to remember when.
It's a special day.
Special today, yeah.
Really special indeed. And that is our show for tonight. I'm Lindsay Davis. ABC News Live is here for you all night with the latest news, context, and analysis. You can always find us on Hulu, Roku, the ABC News app, and of course on abcnews.com. The news never stops. Have a great night.